Hey guys, today is June 18th, and yeah, what a change, huh? I gave Tony, when she was cutting my hair, the wrong clipper size. I didn't have my glasses on, and she went with it, and she said, "Oh my God," and it was a done deal. Yeah, my mom said she didn't see anything wrong with it, but it's a shock for me because I've never had it this short. But it will grow in time. I told my wife, I said, well, at least we can see my actual hairline and the bald spot in the crown of my head. Oh, it's not bald spot, but it's thinner there. Um, I thought, well, maybe I should grow a beard out so I look like all the trend, right? But anyway, I'm doing this. I know my last video was in the blue top. I'm not doing this on the same day. But I wanted to talk about some things just that I've experienced or that I go through, and maybe someone else can relate to it or uh, can give pointers to anybody else that's out there asking questions if they do on this channel. Uh, First of all, life in general is about how you walk on your journey day to day. And if you're the type of individual, when you get up in the morning, you don't see anything good right off the bat, like life, and you're looking at people on how they treat you or what they're going to do for you, I'm sad to let you know right now that your life is never, and I mean never, I use that word very heavily, is never going to get better. And the whole reason why is because of how you look at it. Uh, the one thing in life I feel is that the blue skies, the puffy white clouds, the clean air, the running falls into the lakes, um, the birds chirping, the sun shining, those are images that are in the eyes of the beholder. And what I mean by that is, for example, the minute I open up my house in the morning, I hear the birds chirping. I go outside, I turn on my pool to clean, and my pool has a waterfall built into it, and I hear the running water, and I just take a deep breath and I put my face towards the heavens, and I am thankful for another day. I am thankful that I can hear these things, that I can see these things, that I have these things all around me. And to me, it's just beauty. It just inspires me so much. It uplifts me. Even in my darkest times, that's what does it for me. Now, going back to how you look at others, do you watch, when you get up in the morning and you go about your business, are you always watching how people treat you? Are you always expecting your family to do this for you because they did that for that person or that kind of thing? Um, I will let you know that they will always, and I use the word heavily, always disappoint you. Why? Because of your expectations. See, the thing is that as we get older, we should be getting better because we've experienced things in our life to teach us lessons. And sometimes they're brought on us uncontrollably, and sometimes uh, they're out of our control. And I know with my life, if I was to sit down and tell you every detail of my story, you would feel sorry for me. And then once you felt sorry for me, you would say, well, you dipshit, why did you keep doing this? Why did you repeat that behavior? And it's true. The things that I could have controlled that didn't go so well for me in life, um, I was a dipshit. Bottom line, I don't know. I guess my expectation of that person, once again, it disappointed me, and it never became what it was, what I thought it should be. So we take our life experiences and we try to learn from them. And the ones that we can't control, this is the hardest lesson in my life that I have had to work on day to day. And I'm not always perfect, but I've had to let go of relationships that were once a certain way with my family members and are no longer that way. And it has nothing to do with transitioning. What it has to do with is life. Um, the grandkids growing up, them having kids, and and those families continuing on their little traditions, with, I have to use my hands a lot, I'm sorry. Let me give you, for example, it's just like my sister in Texas. We've never been around the kids, and time and miles away can be, something that kind of thins out the connection. And so you don't get to grow up with those kids. You don't get to watch them grow and nurture them, and support them. And so you have to let go of that. You have to understand, I wish I could have been close to my nephews and nieces. I wish I would have known more about them. But that's something that I had to let go because my sister made a decision to leave leave our state and move out of state. On the other hand, I've got two siblings here that have children. One has never been close to the family, has chosen a path that does not, really follow the ethics of the family. My other sibling, I was very close to all three children. I was there for everything, their birthdays, their birthday parties. I was part of it. I was the entertainer. I was the to-go person when my brother-in-law wasn't available or at work, and so on and so on. But now the grandkids have children even as old as 11 years old. And I've noticed in the last 11 years things slowly changing. My sister now is the grandparent. They're meeting at her house. They're doing things. And I'm not always a part of that anymore. And it was a hard thing because it changed the relationship I have with her. And by that changing, it also, she's gone into a different avenue on her pathway, a different, or journey, a different path. And it doesn't mean that she doesn't love me or care about me, but it just means that I'm not part of her life every day anymore. And that has really been hard for me. It hurts because I'm used to being that to-go person for her, and I'm not anymore. And I understand it. It doesn't mean she's wrong. It just means that she's got nephew or son-in-laws that can do things for her, and her girls can do things now. They're adults. They do things with her and for her, and I'm not needed. And part of my personality for years has been codependent. I needed to be needed. And I've learned to deal with that codependency. I'm not always perfect. And I find that through my stepdad's death and my mom being alone, that I've brought that out a little bit more. But I've also learned to back off from that because the other person can become very dependent. And then one day you wake up and you ain't got the time for that. So it's just, life is about how you look at it, what you put into it. It has nothing to do with what you get out of it. And if you're putting things into it, for example, if you're doing things for other people and you're expecting something in return, you're doing it for the wrong purpose. And don't look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I'm such a good person and look how they're treating me. You got to look at the reason why you're doing that for a person. If you're doing it just because, like I did, my sibling, I loved my nieces and nephews, and I did things for them because I wanted to be a part of their life. I wasn't looking at it, okay, what can they do for me? I hope when I get real old, though, they will take care of me because I don't have any kids. But anyway, so it affects our lives even in transitioning. And sometimes these behaviors can multiply when we transition, because now we either become very confident in who we are or very balanced in who we are, and now we kind of are not introverted any longer. We become extroverted, and sometimes we become overbearing. Sometimes we become, too confident, and and then we're expecting the same thing from other people to respond to us in a different way. And so my whole thing is that you've heard it said before, and I'm saying it now, and you're going to hear it be said in the future from other people. You have to worry about yourself first, and you have to get healthy. If you're not healthy, then your life is going to suck, because you're not putting any attempt into it. And if you don't know that you're not healthy, but yet your life seems to never go right, things always seem to happen, I think you need to step back and take a look at yourself and ask yourself, well, what did I do to participate in that? Nothing? Or have I been a rude, careless person? Or have I been a person who helps but expects in return? So you have to ask yourself those questions. The one thing for sure, and if you really sit and think about it, I've said this before and I've seen it happen many more times, is that when we transition and we become the person we are on the inside, on the outside, and so therefore we are in full circle of ourselves. We are, complete. Not saying that your transition's complete, but just as humans, we now look in the mirror and can see the person that we knew we always should have been physically. So now people like on YouTube or talking to, one of the things that we do in the very beginning is we want to tell our family, it's okay if you don't call me. I know, I understand, and you give them all this time. Well, there comes a time where it does matter. And then you see that change. You say, okay, I'm getting frustrated now. It's been 2 years and they're still doing that. I need to start. And now what's going to happen is you're going to have to start stepping in and saying, you know what? I know it was hard and I said this, but guess what? It's been 2 years. And so if you can't respect me enough to identify or call me at my name or use the right pronouns, then I think actually there's something else going on here. And we tend to go through, let's just say, bumpy roads with family and friends. And it depends on how we handle them. Like, for example, for me, I did say when they misgendered me, it's okay after a while. But once it's been a year or two, I said, what are you doing? It's been this long. Don't you know who I am now? And I make a joke out of it. It eases, if they don't do it on purpose, it eases them. And I've noticed that it really has helped them to respond to me the way I need them to respond to me. I've talked on my videos about my mom. When I'm around her a lot, she will misgender me. Well, she did that in the beginning, but now she hasn't. In fact, she even uses me now, my present self, in my past self. Meaning, when she's talking about something I used to do as a kid, she'll say, Jay used to do this. And she'll tell me she's talked about me to someone and said that. And I'm thinking, okay, she's doing it even when I'm not around and having to remind her. So, the thing is that the bottom line is for your life, for you to see the rainbow, hear the birds, listen to the water run, and acknowledge the beauty and all that, you've got to clean out the shadows, the darkness within yourself. You got to seek help if you can't do it within yourself. You got to seek help if you have a life that is miserable, but you don't see that you have any darkness in you. You still need to seek help, because they will help you either to see things differently or work on things that maybe is within you. For example, expecting others to always do for you. So I wanted to get this out there simply because I've been hearing a lot of this kind of behavior, and it's negative. And when people have negative behavior, and that's what they're always spewing, other people try to be supportive, but after a time they really get tired of hearing it, because you can't have a rain cloud hanging over your head all the time. It does not encourage healthiness, and other people don't want to go down with the boat either. So um, I'm going to probably do another video here in a little bit regarding some other things I've been thinking of, but this is 15 minutes already. So I hope that this touches somebody or helps somebody understand something about their life or about someone they know might be like this. But anyway, guys, and hopefully my hair will grow fast, huh? Take it one day at a time and always make your journey as simple as possible. We'll talk to you later. Bye.